Median home prices in Ada and Canyon County continue to slip while interest rates continue to rise. Let's go ahead and dive into all the information and figure out what happened in the month of September right here in the real estate market in the Treasure Valley. Well, welcome back after the break, everybody. Mike Petras here, your Star Realtor of Star and the Treasure Valley, back with another episode of Mikey's Monthly Market Updates for September of 2022. Now, if you are new to this channel, this is a breakdown of what happened in the real estate market right here in Ada and Canyon County, better known as basically the heart of the Treasure Valley. We're going to break down that information to be able to show you what is happening here in our real estate market and how it may be able to affect your decision right now to buy, sell, or maybe even invest right here. So also, we're going to go ahead and discuss a little bit quickly about the interest rates, what's going on. But of course, if you want any further information, of course, I am a licensed realtor. I am also a certified master inspector right here, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you do have. You can go ahead and find my contact information in the description below. Would love to hear from you. But also, where's your favorite city? Thinking about moving here to the Treasure Valley and already got one picked out? Of course, we know that we are just kind of covering the counties. So if you do have any more specific information about specific cities here in the Treasure Valley, feel free to reach out to me. More than happy to answer those questions too as well, or comment below. I'm very responsive when it comes to that, and more than happy to answer your questions there as well. So let's go ahead, let's dive into the information, and then stay tuned towards the later end of this video to where I'm going to go ahead and break down a summary for strategies for buyers, sellers, investors, and renters alike. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and let's dive right into the data and start off with Ada County like we normally do. And according to this graph, as you can see, basically all the gains that we have made since January of the beginning of this year, all the way up until about May, when really we kind of hit the peak of the market. So like late May, early June, has reduced all the way back down to the baseline levels that we have seen in January. So we are at $540,000 at the median overall home price. So Ada has lost itself 11.52%. So all those gains have definitely taken off. If we are looking at the 6 months overall, if we're looking at what happened this month as compared to August of last month, the total inventory, the total median home price did dump 4.42% overall and worked its way back down. So Ada County actually took about a 4.2% in the month of August as compared to July, and just a little bit more this month. So we are on the downward trend. I was thinking about 5-10% overall is what we were going to lose between Ada and Canyon County if you watch my videos and you do subscribe. But as you can see, that has kind of gone away. And I've been wrong before. I apologize, everybody, but we're just going to have to continue to pay attention to what happens. So with interest rates on the rise, we know that that's what's really kind of cooling off of the buyer's market right now. Inflation, okay, is another one because it's costing you a lot more for everything you decide to do. So food, gas, etc. And the Fed really still doesn't seem to have a hold on that. So we're just going to have to continue to see what happens with interest rates and with these markets and see how far down kind of technically it's going to go. I honestly, at this point, would say maybe another 5% before the actual effects of the recession hit, which I'm thinking is going to come between quarter two and after the midterms. Okay, as to when the effects might see themselves. And as we know, once a recession, the effects of the recession start hitting, interest rates historically will come back down. And I think that's going to generally bring a lot of the competition, or not the competition, but a lot of buyers out of where they're kind of feeling right now in the hesitation. So we'll just have to wait and see as to when that's going to happen and what our real estate markets are going to do. All right, looking at the total inventory here for Ada County, we could see that the total inventory is sitting at 2,420 homes actively available for sale. We can see that if we're taking a look at the buyer's demand, it's ticked down over the months for sure, and it is definitely cooled. We all know that, or else we wouldn't be in this market correction, as to say like we had during the pandemic when there was absolutely no inventory and the buyer's demand was huge. But it's still kind of leveled itself. And is it really because people are going out there and trying to sell in record numbers right now? No, that's really not it, as much as just the buyer's demand is overall cooled. But you can see it's kind of ticked its way down. But overall, over the months, it's kind of stayed relatively level. So we're just going to have to go ahead and keep watching. But if we're looking at the total months of inventory here in Ada County, we're sitting at 3.45 months of inventory overall. And just kind of looking at a different graph at the total inventory, we could see in this perspective that the inventory has definitely surpassed levels that we had back in 2019. And with the holiday seasons right around the corner, I'd still kind of do anticipate for the listings to kind of go down and narrow the gap, as it does generally seasonally. So we'll have to continue to watch that data too as well, but anticipate the inventory to start dipping down as a seasonal deal and then start returning generally around Q2 when the hot season returns. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at just the inventory here in existing homes. We can see that it's sitting at 1,409, and the total sold properties that we had for the month of September was 499, so just shy of 500. And if we're taking a look at the new construction inventory, we're looking at 1,011. And of course, the buyer's demand, or the buyer's sold, was just sitting at 201. So respectively, in the existing home inventory, we're sitting at 2.82 months worth of inventory. But the new construction inventory, wow, I mean, that's really up there. It's at 5.02%, or 5.02 months of inventory, everyone. So basically what that's going to do, and we've already seen it kind of the pattern here in Canyon County, and we're going to see it in Ada County, is it's going to slow down the builders. And right now, a lot of the small builders, because of the federal funds rate where it is, if they do have to take out loans to get their products, they basically kind of stopped. And we have seen a lot of the majors out here start to really reduce or really retreat back to pre-solds. If you have questions about that, let me know. But pre-solds, basically, we have the lot. We won't build it until you want it. Okay, kind of a deal. So we'll just have to continue to see what happens in the new construction industry. But right now, incentives have returned all over the place, really, to these builders. They are offering to buyers. They want you to come in, so they're generally picking up things like your closing costs, or maybe if you wanted to do a 2-1 buy down, etc., in order to entice you to come in and buy up their stuff. But they really are dumping whatever active inventory that they do have right now in order to basically put themselves in the position back to the pre-solds, or at least that's my feeling on it. So if you're new to this channel, I do like to kind of play a game, more or less, or not a game, but just kind of go ahead and review like who's kind of the biggest loser here, more or less, in terms of the overall median value. Is it existing homes or is it new construction? So let's go ahead and let's start off with existing homes. As we can see, we hit our peak, again, back late May, early June at 586, 750, and it's come all the way down to $500,000. Okay, so total in the existing homes out in Ada County has taken the biggest hit so far at 14.8% overall. If I'm comparing the 2 months between August of last year August of last month as compared to today, we noticed that it took a pretty big hit at 5.66%. So let's take a look at new construction. Okay, in new construction, wow, I mean, if you watch these videos, you do know that between May and June, boy, did they really increase in price up to a peak of $690,000, which came, of course, in June. But overall, it has started to tick its way back down. If we're looking at new construction overall, it has had a market correction of itself, and the prices in the medians have came down 5.7% since the peak there at 690. But this month also took, a relatively good hit from the last month. You can see that it was at 683,000, and the median home price for new construction dipped all the way down to 635, which is a loss of 4.74%. Taking a look at the days on market, we can see the days on market are still on the rise. And of course, we do know that the buyer's demand is still kind of cooling out here. I know some of the graphs are kind of showing relatively kind of a level deal here with buyers demand overall in Ada County, but we do know that the buyers demand is cooling. Why? Because interest rates are on the way up and people are nervous. And then also we know, again, we're just recapping, inflation's on the way up. The Fed can't seem to get a control of it as of yet. So we're just going to have to wait and see really kind of what happens with these markets. But taking a look at the days on market, it has been on the way up. And especially during the holiday season, right around the corner, we can anticipate this still to be on the rise. Cancels and expireds have also been on the rise too. The expireds maybe not so much. I mean, there are some people that are really kind of just holding out for the price that they want, and I can completely understand that. But at the same time, the market has definitely shifted over to a buyer's market, as you know if you subscribe to this channel. It really is kind of changed, and the strategies have changed in order to be able to sell your home. So sellers, know that concessions are kind of generally returning. If that could be maybe your strategy in order to entice a buyer to buy your home over, say, a property somewhere else here in the Treasure Valley, or the same kind of rough price. So kind of keep that in mind. But again, cancels are on the way up too. And I think it's mainly because maybe some people, because of the financing right now, they're falling out of their contracts, and then sellers are kind of getting disappointed and taking their listings off the market. Or maybe some of these sellers are kind of getting cold feet too, and they have been maybe having some cold feet over the time. So we'll just have to continue to watch, but the cancels have definitely been on their way up. And if I was a betting man, I would say it's more or less because of the financing at this point, maybe for some potential buyers. So let's go ahead and recap real quick here in Ada County. The median sales price did go down, to $540,000. The total homes sold was sitting at 700, and the total inventory again is sitting at 2,420. And of course, as we know, the days on market are on the way up. So again, basically all that fight that we had a year and a half ago is really gone. So buyers, great time. We'll go ahead and discuss that at the end of the video. But that is what is happening in Ada County for September of 2022. All right, Canyon County, it's your turn. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this information. So for the month of September, if we go ahead and take a look at the graph, we do know that in January, we were sitting at 424,900, and that went all the way up, of course, again to the peak, which was about late May, early June, when the overall median home price hit 476,500, and it since came down just shy of baseline levels that we saw back in January. So we are sitting at 426,990 for the median home price overall, which from the peak, we have lost a total of 10.39% here in Canyon County overall. And we are sitting just shy of the baseline level. We only have about 1.75% to go. I did say in my last Mikey's monthly market updates that I did see some signs of stabilization in Canyon County. But really, again, with interest rates the way that they are, and even now that closing costs are going to be coming up because of some lenders, the lenders, they just know that the rates are high, so we can anticipate maybe like an extra percent that they might tack onto your closing costs. We'll have to wait and see because of what's going on with that. But can still anticipate this to overall come down? And at this point, again, I think that, we can probably anticipate it to keep going down. So, but over the months, of course, since we hit it, and since the last month, we can see that we did take a pretty good drop for this month as compared to the month before, when things were starting to show some signs of stabilization. We see that we went down 3.17% overall in the median home price for total inventory. All right, taking a look at the inventory, we see that we've got 1,303 homes for sale in Canyon County, and this month has sold 343. And you can see from that graph, as compared to like Ada County, that the buyer's demand has cooled, and you can see it sloping down, and it still is on the way down. So can we still see maybe that gap widen? But if we're taking a look at the inventory, we're seeing that it's coming down. Again, I believe it's just because of a seasonal deal, more or less, and we'll just have like a natural swing like we normally do with inventory in real estate overall. But you also see the pendings going down too, and that's just the total people that are under contract out there in Canyon County. Looking at a different graph here right quick, just again, we can see that we've hit levels of inventory that we have not seen in quite some time, even surpassing the levels that we've had in 2019. But again, I can probably anticipate those levels to come on the way back down as the seasonal shift comes along. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the existing home inventory. We see that we are sitting at 741 homes for sale right now, which is starting to tip down the other direction. And I think, again, it's because of the seasonal deal that's coming up. But if we look at the homes that have sold since, say, like back in May of 2021 to September today, we can see that definitely the buyer's demand has cooled, and only a total of 218 homes actively sold here in the month of September. And if we're looking at new construction inventory, again, same thing. And again, what I kind of said over in Ada County, a lot of the builders, especially the small builders, have kind of stopped altogether. And a lot of the major builders have stopped building too as well, and really trying to retreat back to the pre-sold deal. But we are sitting at 562 homes for sale, and only 125 homes in Canyon County actually sold. And we can see over the last months that the buyer's demand has definitely cooled. And especially with the holiday seasons around the corner, I can anticipate that to continue. So if we're looking at total inventory for the existing homes, we're sitting at 3.4 months worth of inventory right now. For the new construction, we're sitting at 4.5 months of inventory in Canyon County. And then overall, we're sitting at 3.8 months worth of inventory in Canyon County. So again, overall, who is generally kind of the biggest loser here in Canyon County? Is it existing homes? Is it new construction? Well, let's go ahead and let's dive into that. As we can see, we did hit the peak for existing homes at $425,000 median home price back in April of 2022. That continued actually over into May of 2022. And then, of course, has been working its way down since the peak of the market. And overall, we have lost in existing homes 10.35%. And from this month, actually, the existing homes lost probably its biggest tank and being at 6.4% as compared to the 407 that we saw the previous month in August. New construction overall, of course, it peaked basically in April, actually a little bit earlier than, say, like a lot of the other peaks that we have seen towards May and June in Canyon County. But it has came down a total of 10.65% since we hit that peak, and we're now sitting today at 490. That's fun to say. But again, it's kind of taking that stabilization direction. So we're just going to have to wait and see and watch, how those numbers continue to do over the months. But really the overall from what happened last month to this month in terms of loss in this market correction wasn't much at all. It was just sitting at 0.3%. Days on market in Canyon County really shot up this month, as say compared to last month. We are sitting at 44 days of inventory overall, and I do anticipate this again to rise because of the holiday season that's right around the corner. But again, for buyers, we'll discuss that strategy a little bit later on in this video. That could be a good thing for you if you're looking to jump into this market right now. And of course, lastly, cancels and expires, as we can see by this graph. Cancels are definitely on the way up. Expireds are actually on the way up. So there's probably, again, a lot of people holding out for that particular price and really kind of won't take any less. Their motivation is really they don't have to sell. They're just trying to put their feelers out there, maybe to make a possible move. But again, cancels are on the way up. And as I mentioned with Ada County, I think that it's going to be more because maybe some buyers financing is generally falling out overall. So let's go ahead and recap Canyon County and what happened this month in September of 2022. The median home price is sitting at $426,990. The amount of homes that sold overall was just sitting at 343. Our total inventory is sitting at 1,303, and the days on market are up to 44. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and let's recap. So what do we know is happening in Ada and Canyon counties? We do know that the market correction has been here since very much late May, early June, and they have been coming down. And unfortunately, that 5-10% that I had mentioned, it seems to be surpassing it here at this moment. We'll just have to continue to watch. And of course, why? Because we do know that inflation is still not being capped off or not being handled properly by the Fed, and they do have to get aggressive, and they have to do it longer. So their opportunity for a soft landing, if you do subscribe to this channel, in my opinion, is not going to come. Soft landing is not going to happen here because they have to get aggressive and they have to get aggressive for longer. So what does that mean? That means that the effects of a recession are going to come. It is going to be here. And historically, we do know that rates come back down. And I do predict that the rates will probably, or the effects of the recession are probably going to hit anywhere from after the midterms up until Q2 of next year. Now, the Fed does have their finger on one other button, and that's the MBS. Okay, and if they do start selling off their MBS, that could actually make interest rates go even higher. So we'll just have to wait and see what the Fed has really kind of got in store concerning anything with the real estate market. So, but right now, it's not a bad time to buy. We are in a buyer's market. So let's go ahead and let's cap off strategies and tips for buyers, sellers, investors, and renters. All right, buyers, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Is this a bad time to buy? And the answer to that question is actually no. Okay, the reason being is that prices have came down. There are still many price reductions happening on active inventory across here in the Treasure Valley. So that doesn't just mean that the price reductions is going to be it. We could also probably get in there and negotiate for even more off. And we do know that it's now competitive for sellers to sell. So a lot of them are actually offering concessions back to you in order to entice you to buy their property, say over a like-minded property in the same city that's around the same price, or maybe even other cities. So the sellers are putting their best leg out forward right now in order to entice you to buy their home. Also, new construction is doing the same thing as well. They are offering incentives to get you to come out and buy up their inventory or their pre-solds. Of course, as I mentioned, a lot of the smaller builders have basically kind of stopped. A lot of the bigger builders are just trying to return back to that pre-sold aspect to where, you purchase it and then they'll go ahead and building it, and they are trying to dump off their existing inventory right now in order to put themselves in that position to be able to do so. At least that's my 2 cents and how I feel about that. So either way, good time. It is a good time to buy. You can get in there and do all that. And what can you do with those concessions if you get them? Well, one of the things that you could do is you could go ahead and you can pay your closing costs. Now, you will deal with the pain of the interest rate, okay, until the effects of the recession hit and the rates come back down to where you can go ahead and refinance. Or you can actually take that and put it in what's known as a 2-1 buy down, which will take down 2% the first year off the actual interest rate, and then 1% the second year, and then return back to the baseline level. And you can also refi at any time, really, with a 2-1 buy down. And if you do refi earlier back to a lower rate, whatever's left over in that escrow account generally will go back to you. But again, take a look at the terms of the 2-1 buy down to make sure that's all correct. So you would want to talk to a lender. So it is a good time to buy. And the 2-1, if you are really worried about interest rates and how they might affect you in between now and then, the 2-1 buy down, if you get concessions, is really a good way to go. All right, sellers, it's your turn. Of course, inventory is out there. The competition is there for you too as well. So, and prices are still, of course, as you can see by this data, trending on the downward slope. So if you are looking to sell, it is key to appropriately price your home. If not, may not even come a little under fair market value, so that maybe you can stir a lot of traffic to your home and maybe even get some buyers maybe in a potential bidding war, more or less. So if you are looking for really great strategies on how to sell your home, market it in this economy and in the state of the market correction that we're in, looking for definitely a strong realtor in your corner to be able to help you along this process, get it sold in a quick time and for the most money possible, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to set up an appointment with you to where I can go ahead and discuss these strategies and let you know how I can win for you. All right, investors, your turn. So again, if you are definitely a cash investor, this is a good time, to come on out. Prices are still, they are still ticking down. I kind of anticipate them to still kind of tick down. So if you're in the investment world, you might be just kind of waiting for them to maybe come down a little bit further. But what if they don't? What if they begin to stabilize? That's also another big question. But there is a lot of inventory out there that you can. Rents are still on the rise overall. So a great deal to go out and get a secondary property. And if you are looking to finance that too, keep in mind, of course, the more money you put down, the better your capitalization rate is going to be for your rental property and be able to make a good investment off of it. And of course, if you're in the flip game, again, there's a lot more inventory out there that you could probably go up and negotiate for and be able to do what you do for a living. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me or comment below. Love to hear from you. All right, and lastly, renters. Again, I say it every single time, you are paying 100% interest. Unfortunately, you are paying your landlord, and they are kind of, cashing in, on equity when it does eventually return, which it will. This market, it will stabilize itself, and it will start going up about 3-4%, probably as it should be in normal markets. So if you're on the cusp too, and you want to jump in, reach out to a lender today. Reach out and discuss, financing options, here. Discuss things with them like a 2-in-1 buy down potentially. Maybe you can get those concessions from the seller to come on over and just kind of hop in that game. But if you are looking to hop in the game, would love to put you in touch with one of my preferred lenders. So that way he can guide you and start setting the foundation. And then of course, I would love to represent you too as well. And let's go ahead and let's get you into a home. Well, as always, thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Of course, if you are looking to buy, sell, or invest right here in the Treasure Valley, or you have some general questions, love answering questions, please feel free to reach out to me today. I can be reached at 208-715-STAR. Again, that's 208-715-7827. And of course, if you're looking to begin your home shopping experience today, please visit my website at www.yourstarrealtor.com. Also, if you're thinking about moving right here to the Treasure Valley from out of state, please click in the description below, download my free relocation guide, so that way you're in the know before you decide to make the move. Also, please click that subscribe button below, hit the notification bell so that you're constantly in tune with all the videos that I do come up with. And I'm going to also put at the end of this video instructions and basically general knowledge about 2-1 buy downs, and also kind of give you a brief recap of what the last Fed meeting really kind of did and where the federal funds rate kind of stands, and talking about that recession coming up. So please click on one of those videos and continue watching. And of course, I look forward to the day that we speak. God bless. Until then, we'll talk then. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.